Good evening. It is Tuesday, March, I should have practiced that. It is March 19th, and we are the ISD 709 Duluth Public Schools, and I welcome you all. This is our listening session that we offer once a month for our community members, our staff, and anyone who wants to come and share ideas, concerns, questions, celebrations with the Duluth School Board. So we're really glad you're here tonight. And we're going to start first with just roll call, so we see and know board members are here.
Member Mikesell?
Here.
Member Lofeld?
Here.
Member Loeffler-Kemp?
Here.
Member Eder?
Here.
Member Banks?
Here.
I'm here. And Member Williams?
Here.
Superintendent Magus?
Present.
Assistant Superintendent Bonds? Present. And Student Rep Damon Ridsko?
Here. And we're glad to have our student reps attend when they can. I got notice from both Larissa and Maya that they have rehearsals and activities that will keep them from this session, but they're here for our school board meeting. So thank you all for coming tonight. And again, before we get started, we're going to share our Duluth mission, vision, core values, and 11 tools of civility, and also go over just some guidelines to our listening session procedures and process. They're all located on our district's website, especially under school board and under the listening session. And while I'm just sharing this information, I'm going to ask that our tech people or our leadership put a microphone on the podium for our listening session speakers. So that'll be great. You can do that even when I'm speaking. Ah, there's a handheld there. Okay, okay. Whatever one works, that will be good. So, the Duluth Public Schools mission is that every student, every day, will be empowered with learning opportunities for growth, creativity, and curiosity in preparation for their future in a global community. Duluth Public Schools provides an academically engaging, safe, and inclusive environment with high expectations and responsible use of resources. We have 5 core values. They are learning, excellence, equity, collaboration, and belonging. We also are committed to the civility project that was developed with community input, probably in the area of 1999 or 2000. And it is the school board recognizes 11 tools of civility that will provide increased opportunities for civil discourse in order to find positive resolutions to the issues that face our community. These tools include pay attention, listen, be inclusive, don't gossip, show respect, be agreeable, apologize, give constructive criticism, take responsibility, be honest and care for others, and show your reasoning and support your evidence. Those are our guidelines. And now Clerk Zadowski will just give us the process we use for our listening session.
Yep, these are just some listening session guidelines. So if you have handouts for the board, please give them to our school board secretary, Patty, over here. Persons addressing the board will have 3 minutes total. When speaking, the use of names or any information that identifies a specific individual is prohibited, and you will be asked to end your comments. Persons addressing the board may not merge their time in order to allow one person to speak more than 3 minutes. The clerk of the board, I'll start the stoplight timer right here at the start of each person's time. Green means go, yellow means wrap up, and red means stop. When the red light comes on, the chair will gavel to signal you to end. And in the interest of respect for every listening session speaker, please hold any commentary during the speaker's time until they are finished. Thank you.
So our first speaker tonight is Ethan Fisher, and on deck is Cindy Miller.
Good evening. My name is Ethan Fisher. I am proud to be the president of the Duluth Federation of Teachers. Last week, I had the privilege of bringing to our membership of 741 teachers 2 two-year contracts for their approval. I am happy to say that the membership has spoken in support, and tonight you will have the opportunity to ratify those contracts. As you know, education is changing all around us. I often ask the question, how will we rise to meet the challenges that the new educational system will bring? Our educators are doing more than we did when I entered the profession 29 years ago. I believe our contracts bring some changes to schedules that will be good for our students and good for our teachers. The labor management process has been crucial in making this happen. Moving forward, we will have to continue to address the changing landscape of education. I believe that the negotiation process this go around was a breath of fresh air, and I thank you for that. I just want to make a special thank you to Teresa for working closely with me on the minutia of the contract language changes. There were quite a few this time. I feel confident that when you have the opportunity to vote on our contracts tonight, that you will be in favor of approving both two-year contracts. And thank you for that.
Next is Cindy Miller, and on deck is Brian Schilling. And look, she takes the gum out of her mouth. You make a public speaking teacher proud.
Oh, there we go. Hello. Thank you for the opportunity to give comments. My name is Cindy Miller. I wear many hats in the Duluth Public Schools. I am one of 9 licensed library media specialists in Duluth and head the library media tech content team. I teach 0.8 of my time in the library at Congdon Park School. The other part of my job is as the district-wide K-12 computer science lead. I'm here today to tell you about some initiatives that involve school libraries in this legislative session. This paper came from me. Thank you for passing it out for me. This is from the Minnesota Library Association. The first part to note has to do with hiring a state school librarian to oversee spending that was allocated last year for school libraries and help us learn and teach the new computer science standards that are being adopted and implemented in the next number of years. In our district, we have licensed library media specialists in the majority, not all, of our schools, and these people will be the ones teaching foundational skills in computer science as expected by the state. We'll need guidance from a big picture liaison called a state school librarian. The second request we're seeking is the formation of a digital citizenship, internet safety, and media literacy advisory council. That's the second part on this paper, the handout. The advisory council will help us with instructing students to safely, ethically, responsibly, and effectively use media and technology resources. The third point of interest for school libraries is on the back side of this page that was distributed. It is a prohibition on book banning by agencies or government entities. Parents and community members are still allowed to challenge material following the policies and procedures we have in place. Now I have a problem with the gum. In Duluth Public Schools as recommended by the Minnesota School Board Association. I know you've been busy lobbying and learning at the Capitol this year. This is when I put on my other hat, the computer science one. I'd like to invite you to STEM Day at the Capitol, March 26th. That's next week on Tuesday in the Rotunda from 9 to noon. We are showcasing hands-on, interactive, and student-focused learning and innovations taking place across our state. I'll be there highlighting some of the computer science lessons that we do in Duluth Elementary library media centers, like the Code and Go mouse that some of you learned about in the past, and more. Our library media specialists are making change for our students in Duluth. We still teach children to love to read, create, and be curious information seekers. We are evolving in our positions. Our library media centers are changing with the times and are models for others in the state. Thank you for your support of our libraries and library media specialists at the Capitol and in our own schools. Remember, if Adele was here, this would be directed to her. Remember that School Librarian Day is April 4th. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Brian Schilling, and on deck is Jim Olson.
Last spring, I spoke to the school board about making media specialists full-time throughout the district. And I want to thank you for taking that huge step for making secondary media specialists full-time and changing the elementary schedule to get us closer to that goal. And I want to share specifically some elementary stories from this year. In our media centers across the district, elementary, we are doing book tasting events, code and go robots, research projects in every grade level, makerspace stations, collaboration lessons with classroom teachers, and digital citizenship skills that keep our kids safe. Our collections are getting the tender, loving care they deserve with inventories and weeding and organizing so that book collections are easier for students to find the books they love. The following are some specific stories from media specialists across our district in the elementary buildings. This is one story. Checking out books every library visit without rushing students through. I have the time to talk to every single student as they're looking for books and checking out. This is absolutely priceless for building relationships with students and fostering students' sense of belonging in the library. In another library, students are creating student-written, student-directed, and acting stories. We are in the developmental stages of sharing stories with our new schedule. Every student is involved from reading and acting out lines, operating cameras, and using technology software to edit the video. I'm excited about what they will produce with their endless imagination. Also been able to incorporate library cadets into the program and take ownership in the library by mending, shelving, and creating book displays. From another media specialist, before winter break, I received a thank you card from a family. In the card, they shared that their daughter said that media time is one of their favorite parts of the week. She loves listening to stories, reading stories, and choosing a book to check out and sharing it with her family. I love that I'm a part of inspiring her to read and sharing great books with her and her classmates. I also have another student in first grade who shares with me that she loves the library so much that she has set up her own library at home. Another story, I have a student who was resistant to checking out, and I worked on him very gently. And finally, last week, he checked out his very first book for the first time. He said it was the first one he's ever checked out. The whole class celebrated and applauded him, which was awesome. I had him for library a second time last week, and he checked out another book after saying how much he enjoyed the first one. I honestly felt like crying. So wonderful to see a budding reader emerge. What a privilege. Thank you for making this investment and this schedule change. That extra 15 minutes has been awesome. Thank you.
And that brings up Jim Olson.
Good evening. I've spoken to you many times, and I want to start with something that I should have started every other time with, but when I'm up here, I'm always trying to crunch as much as I can in 3 minutes. So I want to thank the board for their service. I've been involved in politics since I was pounding Mondale signs as a kid, and I have many friends who are in politics at the local and the state level. And at every level, the thankless job is still the same. And so I really appreciate everyone who's on the board for doing that thankless job, serving our community. I also like to thank the school board for their efforts at the Duluth Days. I think it's an awesome thing to see administration, DFT leadership, and the school board members lobbying on the same team. I think it sends the message to St. Paul that we are united together and that we have the same priorities. I also want to thank the board for ending their evening by dining together and having a few drinks. Those casual times are what helps build relationships, and those relationships lead to a strong trust so we can rely on each other. But why I'm really here tonight is to ask you to approve the 2 contracts that you're going to be voting on. While nothing will equate to what teachers really deserve, I believe that these 2 contracts are good for educators, good for the district, and most importantly, they will provide equity and opportunities for our students. Approving both contracts will provide the district with stable financial information for the next 3 years, and it will allow us to continue to be able to work together on initiatives that we all see that are important. So I ask you again to pass the 2 contracts so we can move forward together. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Julia Michelizzi, and on deck is Amy Aron.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Michelizzi. This is my first time speaking in front of the board, so I'm very excited, but I'm very nervous. I teach at Laura MacArthur. I'm a second grade teacher. First, I just want to say thank you for being here tonight. If you are sitting before me, it is because you are dedicated to public education. You are dedicated to all of the students, staff, and families of our schools here at Duluth Public Schools. I'm standing before you today because I am a dedicated public school teacher. I love my job. I love the students that I serve and the families that I work with. It is one of the biggest joys in my life. We all know that Laura MacArthur is a high-needs building, and we all have seen how passionate and how loud we can be at MacArthur about being advocates for the school that we love so dearly. I am here today to advocate for the renewal of our MTSS coordinator position. Being in a high-needs building means that our students need more. They need more time to learn and apply their social and emotional skills, more space to safely navigate their difficult feelings, more patience to help guide them through the steps of problem solving. Our students also need more reassurance. They need an abundance of reminders to know that they are good. They are worth celebrating and deserve to be celebrated. Our students need more joy, more positivity, more light. Our MTSS coordinator has provided our children with that more. I don't know what budgeting for a school district entails. I imagine it's incredibly difficult to make the decisions that you do, but when the time comes around again for budgeting conversations or decisions to be made, I want you to think about me, to think about us, to remember how much we all love our students and the families we work with, and how we all want to be more, to give more. With the support of our MTSS coordinator, we are all able to shine a little bit brighter so we can all give our students a chance to thrive. Again, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate your time, your work, and your dedication to our public schools. Thank you.
And our last speaker is Amy Aron.
Green light. All right, good evening. My name is Amy Bamanek, and I am a first grade teacher at Laura MacArthur. Thank you for letting me be here. Last week, we learned that the MTSS coordinator position had been cut from the preliminary budget at our school. Currently, that position does incredible amounts of work to support our tiers of support, specifically our Tier 1 students. The MTSS coordinator works diligently to implement proactive approaches to teaching social emotional skills in every single classroom. Most of our classrooms at Laura MacArthur, there are some students that are not on IEPs, yet require significant amounts of support. Of course, that support looks different for every student as they are all unique in their own ways. Some specific examples that have been in my schedule have been offering scheduled breaks outside of the classroom, managing check-in, check-out for our students, responding to the various student needs, and more. At Laura MacArthur, we value collaboration, as it is our way to meet the needs of our students. We work together to make coming to school a great experience every day for our students and staff, and meeting students where they are to make sure that they feel empowered to grow. Thank you for taking your time to serve every student at Duluth Public Schools. Serving these kids is an honor that I take pride in every day. Thank you.
And that's our last speaker tonight. And I'm so appreciative of all that came to support. I think many of you are in the audience because you came to support whoever else is coming before us to share their concerns. And we really appreciate that. It means a lot to us as well. We got a lot of thank yous tonight from all of you, and we just want to extend that back to you. Thank you. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for coming tonight and sharing concerns, questions, ideas, support. And we hope our listening session provides that kind of welcoming and more relaxed environment to come before us and really have a meaningful conversation and share your hearts and your ideas. So that concludes our listening session, and our regular board meeting will start at 6:30. So again, thank you for coming, and we appreciate you being here. So we adjourn.